Episode 110 of the 580 show. Myself, Brawley, Dante, and Nicholas Ferrantino is back on set. What's up, Nick?
Hey, nothing. Just ate some dinner. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back, buddy. Well, not crazy much going on in Strongman since our last episode. I feel like we recapped a ton last episode and kind of highlighted like what we had going on and everything. But I don't know if you guys, this is gonna sound like really dorky and inside strongman of me, but have you guys been watching Australia's Strongest at all? I sent you guys some clips, but
Nothing other than what you sent.
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw I saw the post. Didn't actually watch any of it though.
I've been trying to keep up a little bit. It's just one of those shows that, like, obviously we don't really know much about being in Australia. At least I
Sure.
don't know much about it. But it's one of those shows that has just like completely caught my eye because the events are so cool, and you forget like there's shows outside the U.S. for us, and like just how creative some promoters can get. Like
Sure.
I sent you guys that video of the max distance frame carry, and it was like
Mhm.
on like a Conan's wheel type setup, but it was a frame. I thought that was such a cool idea.
hmm
And it's just I just like seeing like a different perspective from other promoters and just getting my brain racking for the future and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, like it's cool to see too what people come up with because I mean, how many times do we see a lot of the same events over and over and over? So like the Conan's wheel frame, farmers, whatever carry, I guess it'd be more like a frame. That
Yeah.
was pretty unique. And you could tell too, like some of the implements were pretty like wasn't there an arm over arm too?
And it
And
was
then the
really cool.
deadlift, yeah, the deadlift was like kind of like the Rogue invite setup type deal. So
Right.
that was
Yep.
cool. Yeah, that was cool to see replicated.
I'm
So
I'm always amazed in strongman how many different things there are to do.
Yeah.
Especially as a beginner. Like I just picked up a stone a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago for the first time,
yeah,
so it's kind of cool. It keeps it fresh.
Yeah. It's cool. Like you could literally do 50 shows, 100 shows in your life and never do the same events. You know what I
yep,
mean? Like
yep,
it's a good point. It keeps
yep,
you it makes training fun, at least for me. I mean, obviously sometimes it's a pain in the ass, like having to set
sure.
stuff up, like with power stairs right now, for example, like our first time doing it. But
Yeah, it's fun.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I guess let's talk about the Arnold a little bit more. And basically, in the little dog days of winter, I put up another kind of topics request. We got a couple good topics I want to touch on, and we'll just talk about whatever people want us to talk about. I think that's the
Sure.
best. I think uh have you guys seen the Strongman Corporation website?
I haven't seen the update, but I saw people posting that it's new now, like that it's
Yeah,
updated now.
It
dude.
But I
look it
haven't
looks
It's
seen
kind
it
of
yet.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so it's like super super improved. And I know
Good.
I mean, in a perfect world, I wish everyone would just use Iron Podium and that would just be it. And that's not how a business is going to run. Strongman Corporation's their own business and they have their own website and they want to conduct their own business to get their own stuff across. And man, I got to say, what I knew it was coming, being a state chair, getting the emails, but seeing the website now and the functionality, it's not just aesthetics, the actual function of it now is so much improved. I mean, 10
Yep.
times, 100 times better. You
In what
can
way?
the calendar. So if,
Okay.
if you talk to anyone that was looking for Strongman Corporation shows, the number one gripe, at least what I always heard, was the calendar.
hmm
And we all know, I know from before I even knew United States Strongman was a thing, or there was Iron Podium or anything. I remember sitting there because the first show I ever did was a Strongman Corp show, so that's all I really knew, right? And I
hmm
remember just clicking through that calendar, and all you could really see was like the first like two words of each show. So you got
Sure.
to click. Oh crap, that's in California. Okay, then go back, then click back to the month. Oh, click on another one. Oh crap, that's in Memphis. Okay, click. You know what I mean? So it was always a thing. And now you can search by state, search by specific weight class, search by name, search by date.
Do you
And
see
it's
the Do you see the Arnold thing on it? I have it up right
yeah,
now. It's like,
yeah. If you want to share your screen to show for all, feel free. But
yeah,
Yeah, I
um,
was thinking
like
that. That'd be
the
pretty
front
cool.
page, I think they're gonna keep the front page like aesthetic and looking good for like upcoming events. So now you can see like right on the main screen, it's the Arnold, and it has like this like really big like countdown to the Arnold Classic.
You guys
on
see
the
that all right?
beginning of-
Yep.
Yeah. And you can click on every single event, and then it describes the event, has a weight matrix, says where the event's going to be at the Arnold. Dude, it is whoever did this website, they knocked it out of the park. Dante, do you want to show real quick hit search all strongman events up a little bit where you just were? Yeah. Hit search all. You see that now, Frawley?
Yeah.
See how
So
like awesome that is now?
You can do it by categories.
Yeah. And
Oh, that's
and you
sick.
can break it down by actual states. You can apply filters to be, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, whatever in the Northeast that would be applicable to us. Hey, I want to go to Florida, on a little vacation, but also compete. You can look at that. It's
That's
really cool. It just is so much better and improved. So
That's awesome. That looks good.
yeah, I know
Everything just like more simplified. You can definitely, I don't know, it just looks way more appealing,
Yeah, it looks more aesthetically pleasing, but it's also more functional. And I
Sure.
know that's one thing when you're in strongman for whatever reason. And I know powerlifting and everything's the same, but it's not always the easiest to find a comp. And Iron Podium has become a great thing, but not every promoter's on there. So
No more Facebook.
Yeah, no more Facebook event pages only. But
I got a-
no, that was something cool. I got a question topic in, and we got a bunch of really good ones. And if we don't answer your topic on a specific show, maybe we want to try to keep this between like 30 to 40 minutes, our podcast every week. So if we don't get, maybe I'm just saving one for the bank, or it didn't make sense for this specific week, but I'll try to answer any ones that aren't just trolls or or just stupid. No offense, but go ahead.
If you don't mind, I got one that kind of applies to me, and it's towards the Arnold. Somebody that's never been to the Arnold, what can I expect? First time, first weekend.
It's a good question.
From start to beginning. Obviously, I'm going to watch you guys, but
yeah,
I'd like to enjoy it.
Well, I want to ask first. So I've been to the Arnold, I think, at least 3 times, maybe 4. Frawley, how many times have you went?
At least 4.
Yeah.
At least 4. Yeah.
3 to 4.
Yeah. Well, Nick, and I'll let Frawley and Dante go too, but the Arnold is awesome. And I don't know if this is true. This might be just something I've said in my head so many times. I think it's true, but it's not. But I'm pretty sure it's the biggest expo in North America.
I think it's either that or the Olympia, I think.
Yeah. I think
it's bigger than the Olympia.
Arnold's way bigger than
it's bigger than the Olympia.
I'm not saying, Dante, I'm not saying fitness expo. I'm saying expo.
Oh.
Like expo, like the most people in one convention center gathering in a weekend.
I believe it.
I believe it. Pre-COVID, there it was frequently a 250,000 people there over the weekend. Like a 250,000 people would attend the expo throughout the weekend.
Right. And Nick, I don't know what it's going to be like post-COVID, but it is literally, if you enjoy strength sports, it is heaven. It is seriously heaven. It's packed. That kind of stinks being packed in a perfect world, but dude, there are, what would you guys say? I mean, 250, 500. I'm not good at guessing booths.
I don't know. It's like
hundreds,
rows upon rows.
Maybe not quite 1,000, but
there are hundreds of booths. Obviously supplement booths, but it's not even that. Like, there's obviously like apparel. There's freaking like things like there's like lifting, like you'll be walking past like a booth and it's like bench 225 and win a tub of pre-workout or whatever for as many reps as possible.
They have like random Highland game stuff too. And
I remember, like, you guys know the Mars bar, like the safety squat bar that sits like low on your back. Dude, I remember finding out about the Mars bar through the Arnold because the dude just had the dude had the smallest booth you could possibly get. He just carried in a Mars bar by himself and started promoting it, and that's how he grew into what he is now. And also the thing is, like, there's karate, there's Star Wars competitions, dude. So there's mainly bodybuilding, strongman's on the main stage, like the big strongman, and then the finals for amateur make it on the main stage. There is CrossFit going on, there is powerlifting going on, there is, like I said, dude, there's mass wrestling, there is arm wrestling,
gymnastics, like martial arts, like there's a lot of stuff.
There's ping pong.
Yeah.
What I mainly see from the videos is like I see these guys or girls and they're just carrying around all these supplements and like free stuff that they've got.
Yeah, bring a
And
backpack.
it always looks like, shoulder to shoulder you're going through. That looks like
Yeah.
a zoo.
It is. It really is. It is a zoo.
It smells like protein farts because everyone's walking around and you walk past a booth and you just take a hit of protein and you're just like everyone's freaking hyped up on like 500 grams of protein from just dipping them in like 1,000 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah.
But dude, honestly, like some of my best memories ever come from the Arnold. Like I've talked about them probably on this pod, but it's so surreal to be able to like go and compete this year. But that is a great question of like what to expect. I don't even think we really answered it, but just a ton of boosts, a ton of bros, a ton of people that are like-minded, a ton of people that have other hobbies and stuff. And it's just basically like a convention, but hundreds and hundreds of booths.
Yeah, like you walk in, I mean, like everywhere you look, there's some type of expo being done. Like there's obviously the professional athletes, like the professional strength athletes, bodybuilders, powerlifters, every discipline, right? But then like it's everywhere. Like you walk in, there's stages, there's also like I know the Bang booth before all of the lawsuits and whatever they had.
Yeah.
It was a huge deal. Like it would be like a rave the entire weekend. Like people just dancing in front of the booth and they're giving out free samples to everybody to try their product and promote their product. And, you everywhere you look, there's a new supplement and it's actually kind of cool because there's other stuff that you normally wouldn't think about. Like one of the hunting companies, it's a hunting supplement line. Like they primarily made their supplements to support hunters. They had a booth there and like I learned about their product there. So, there's just tons of stuff that you could spend days that like literally you could spend the entire weekend going up and looking at different kinds of products, like new things coming up. And it's just, it's awesome.
I think you brought up a great point. You're going to see a bunch of booths and then a lot of new stuff. Speaking of that, when does 580 get a booth at the Arnold?
One day. It's
maybe
pricey,
2025. Hopefully,
I'm sure they want a pretty penny to set up.
Mark your calendar.
I'll be curious if the animal cage, Nick. Have you ever seen or heard about the animal cage?
I just heard you guys talk about it.
It's
awesome.
Just basically like Animal, right? Like the supplement company, like they have Animal Pack. They have some other really famous supplements. They basically would like get like a pretty prime piece of real estate at the Arnold, and they would set up a cage. Like a freaking dog kennel, and put like a monolift, deadlift bar, like a ton of weights, really heavy dumbbells, and like maybe like an Atlas stone, like a really heavy Atlas stone that like a Grant Higa or someone would do. And basically they would just have freaks come in and just perform. Like they would have a schedule, like an itinerary throughout the weekend. And this is before I knew about even really what strongman was outside of like the bare minimum. I knew what it was and that was it. And that was like my Bible for the weekend, dude. That was like my Bible. You would have like the first guy go in and do something like 10 in the morning or noon on Friday, and it would just be an itinerary for the rest of the weekend. You would have like the Iron Mafia guys would come in and bench 600 raw for reps.
Yep.
Then you would have Dan Green the next hour come in and do 800-pound raw deadlift for reps. And you would have, and then like they would have an hour where they would just invite people in that were just spectators. Like, hey, you got a good deadlift, come in. But you would just see these feats of strength, man. I'll never forget Derek Kendall. And you wouldn't know who he is. He's gone now. For all you probably remember Derek Kendall, old teacher, just an absolute, just a stud. And he did a 405 seated military press for reps.
I remember that.
And he got something so insane. It was like, double digits.
Yeah.
And it was just but like you get the gist of it, but it was just such a crazy and fun. Grant Higa did something with an Atlas stone once that was crazy. And
they were trying to beat Tom Platz's squat record, 500 for 25 reps or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember that was recent. That was within the past few years. So that was cool.
Steffi Cohen squatted 500 weighing like 140 pounds or something like that.
Yeah. Right.
So it was just, that was what I looked forward to. So I'll be curious if that's back.
If it is, I'll be there when you guys can't
Yeah,
find me. Just so you know.
yeah,
So
right.
They did
I
that.
love the Animal
I
Kingdom.
like that deadlift one they did the one time. It was like Forsaken Warrior and somebody. They did
Yeah.
that
Oh yeah,
600.
Forsaken Warrior and something Hall.
Rob
Rob Hall.
Hall.
Yeah.
Rob
Yeah.
Hall.
And they went like rep
Well,
for rep for like over an
yep,
hour.
Dude.
yep.
Yeah. After Rob Hall went to the hospital because he was in rhabdo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Forsaken Warrior, his whole hand
Like,
was gone too.
yeah, dude.
Yep.
Like he literally collapsed in the cage because they did like 66 reps or whatever back
Yep.
and forth.
Yep.
And it was
And
like
he
what,
literally
600 pounds or
collapsed.
something?
Yeah, it was like 600. They like did a
Yeah.
rep a minute each, every minute.
It was just I go, you go, I go, you go. And they did it for 60 some reps. And Rob Hall like passed out and went to the hospital. He was in rhabdo. Like his body was literally shutting down.
I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
won too.
Insanity.
Yeah, he did because
Crazy.
Forsaken Warrior ripped his hand open.
Yeah.
But
Insanity.
yeah, the Arnold is I saw it today and it was the first time that the Arnold has felt real. Because
Mhm.
someone posted a countdown and it said 41 days or something. And I'm like, man, 41 days. You start talking about your deload, it's like, holy crap. Like, dude, we're there.
30 days, man. With
We're
a deload, you're 35 maybe.
yeah,
You're
dude, we're
close,
there.
dude. It's close.
It's crazy. I mean, I don't know, Dante. I know you've looked at your roster of who you're competing against. Like they just posted
Yeah,
updated, but
it's
I know
crazy.
my class is so Andrew Haynes, who's one of the best 80 kg guys
Yep.
in the world. You guys know him, but he's
Yep.
been on this pod before. But he literally posted today, just like he thinks this is the most stacked Arnold lineup he's ever seen. And that's coming from the guy that won last year.
Sure.
And it's crazy. I sitting there and I'm looking, there's a guy from Bahrain in my class, like Middle East strongest man. We have Norway, USA, Canada, Australia, France, obviously Ben Donan. Man, England, like so crazy. So crazy.
It's a world
So
championship, man.
yeah,
It's the
awesome.
amateur world championship. It truly
Right.
is a world championship. It's pretty
So
cool.
Yeah, I have
yeah,
like
I mean,
UK's strongest 105, Canada's
yeah,
strongest 105.
it's gonna be uh Dante and I's first chance to ever prove ourselves like on a world stage.
Sure.
So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, and then after that, it's planning out the rest of the year. What do you guys think? Like, how do you briefly, but how do you guys foresee your year going, Frawley? Like, what do you, if you were mapping out your year right now, kind of like it doesn't have to be an exact show because obviously we don't know dates, but like
Right.
certain qualifiers. What are you planning on doing?
Yeah, local show early, Northeast Regional in June at 580. Ideally, if everything goes right, I make it to OSG this year. I'm probably going to be on the tail end of getting in, but that's definitely a goal of mine is to try to qualify. I plan to participate in the Shaw Classic online qualifier if they do it again too. That one will take probably a pretty dramatic showing, like improvement between now and then. But I'm still I want to submit to that. I plan to do Strongman Corp Nationals this year. Plan to do OSG if I were to qualify. That's pretty much what this year looks like. Local, regional, ideally nationals, OSG, but we'll see.
Yeah, Nick.
Yeah,
What about you, buddy?
I'm gonna do the regional, and ideally it's to qualify for nationals. So after the regional, I'm looking at the 580 deadlift championships, August 5th.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'll be there for that. Good, thank you for
Yeah.
bringing that up.
No problem. Yeah, I'm actually really excited for that. I think it's gonna be a great day.
Yeah,
After that, if in a perfect world, if I did qualify for nationals, I'm gonna do nationals as well.
Yep.
If I don't, I'm gonna squeeze a show in probably sometime in August, probably after the 580 deadlift championships, and try to make it. And then we'll see about Polar Express again.
So nationals. I like how you're bringing up Polar Express. That fires me up already. But yeah, I think your biggest goal is like get to nationals this year. Like barely missed out last year, and there's no doubt in my mind like you shouldn't be at nationals. Like you are definitely a level of that guy, but it's just getting there. And you guys, it's so much harder for super heavyweights. It really is.
It's tough, man.
But it's
tough.
good
Our
though.
class is competitive.
Yeah. What about you, Dante?
I don't know yet. I'm gonna go with the Arnold. Definitely do the 580 deadlift championships, but I don't know. Part of me wants to take the rest of the year off and just
Oh,
get
one more
stronger,
thing. Yeah.
but we'll never know.
Yeah.
We'll find
We,
out
will-
at
we,
the Arnold.
we will know, but yeah.
One more thing for me. There is a powerlifting meet in my forecast this year.
Yeah.
100% forecasted. I'm gonna do it. I just don't know when. I'm
What's the total
doing.
look like?
What's that?
What's the total look like?
I don't know. I
Come on.
don't.
The number.
It
I'm
starts
not
with a
saying
2. It starts with a 2.
No, I ain't saying it. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. But I'm doing a powerlifting meet this year at some point. I don't know when.
Heck yeah.
So
Well, that's cool. Couple topics. They're not. I mean, there's some. A couple of people actually had said about the Strongman Corp website. We already talked about that. Um, okay? This is a good question, and I'm curious. What your guys' thing is. I think we kind of all think the similar in this, but this person asked, USS or Strongman Corp. How do you know which one you should compete in? And I know I understand I'm a Strongman Corp state chair, but my thing is just do a show, especially if you're new.
Yep.
Just do a Strongman comp. Like I was talking about, I didn't even know there was like multiple stuff when I first started. Just do a show. I think it's just whatever fits your schedule, whatever you think is best for you. Is there a show near your house at USS? Is there a
exactly.
Strongman Corp show somewhere you want to travel to, or vice versa? Do you want to go to USS Nationals? Do you want to go to Strongman Corp Nationals? It's just
Right.
there's no right or wrong answer, and
Mhm.
I mean, you guys might be able to elaborate a little bit on it, but that seems to be a pretty standard question, and there's no real right or wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't know. A lot of it is geographic, like you're saying. Like I'm not going to pick. Like if I want to do a USS show or a Strongman Corp show, and they're both like Dylan's show, Ohio Strongest was 40 minutes away from here. I'm not
Right.
going to not do the show because it's USS, just because primarily 580 puts on Strongman Corp shows.
Right.
Obviously, my local gym is putting on Strongman Corporation shows. Therefore, that's what I'm going to do. If you're not sure, look at Novice for either of them. If you want to do your first show, they both offer it. You know, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, we've all done both.
done
I mean, hell,
both.
dude, this year I'm doing I just did Strongman Corp Nationals, and this year I'm doing USS Nationals.
Yeah.
Like it's
So
it just depends what you want to do. There's no right or wrong. I mean,
no, like
really.
the route to the Arnold, I think it's fair to say, is through Strongman Corporation. If you
Right.
want to go to the Strongman Corporation Amateur Arnold Championships, that is through Strongman Corp. USS, I think their pro division now does an international championship that they're trying to promote. But I mean, it's really half dozen one, six the other. Strongman
Yeah.
Corp's a little bit more money. USS probably a little bit cheaper. Membership wise, I think the entry fees are roughly the same between the two, and that boils down to the promoter. So,
Yep.
that's something to take into consideration if you're concerned about money. But
Yeah. I think USS has one flat membership rate, and then Strongman
Right.
Corp has an open, which is the most expensive, which is like $75 or whatever it
Yep.
is, $77.
Yep.
And then they do offer a novice now, which is nice as well. But yeah, I mean, it really just boils down to
one thing you said before too, pay attention to the promoters.
yeah,
Like it really does boil down to like who is promoting the show. So like if the promoter does a good job, it's going to be a good show.
right,
Doesn't matter what org it's going to be. So
100%.
I think as someone that's fairly new, I choose based on proximity and then likeness of events. Like if the events are really cool, it's in my wheelhouse. If I really
Sure.
want to do it, like that's what I'm gonna sign up for. But really, you're kind of nitpicky. You go one way or the other. So
Yeah, I just really hate when people are like purists in one or the other. Like, oh, I'll only do this, I'll only do that. Like, that's kind of weird to me. I mean,
yeah,
but I
I
don't know.
don't think any of us are that way.
No. I mean, hell, dude,
So-
everyone in this thing has done a USS and a Strongman Corp show. Everyone in here.
Right.
I will say Nick made a good point. Like I have learned this very quickly as a promoter and a competitor alike. people love cool events, like a
Yeah.
cool, unique event. Like I remember when Paul Mauser, and I've talked about in this pod probably too many times now, but when he did a motorcycle press at his comp, I just remember how many people went because of that motorcycle press. And I remember how many people signed up for Polar Express because we had the sandbag snowman build. People thought it was just a cool, unique new one.
Yeah.
And like, it's cool to try new things. We were talking about at the beginning of this when I was talking about the Australia show, was that frame carry. Like, that was really cool to me.
Yeah. Good point.
So,
Good point.
yeah, it's cool to have the variety and get to try new events too. So, yeah,
Agreed.
there's no right or wrong. Well, very long way of getting it. If you're a novice and you're new, dude, do something that's close that you can have training partners, friends, family at, and just enjoy it and go learn. Don't worry so much. Don't get caught up in all this BS. Like, just do a show.
Yep.
This is actually a question that I see a lot. Why is Strongman Corp's weight class for the 90 kg 200.4 and not 90 kg? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm a little bit bigger than that, so I don't really
it's
have
like,
an opinion on it.
because I think 90 kg is actually like 198.6,
Yeah.
right? Something like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
You know,
That's
actually, that's
much
another
heavier.
thing. That's another thing that you don't think about when you talk about Strongman Corp versus USS is
The weight
sometimes
class.
people's bodies just fit into a better class naturally.
Sure.
You know, there may be that guy that's 183 pounds and he doesn't feel like cutting to 175, cutting, even though it is 8 pounds. It still is 8 pounds.
hmm
And so they can show up, you know, maybe not eat lunch that day of Friday, weigh in at 181, and then they're good to go for a show.
That's a good point. That's a
Because
good point.
USS has a 220,
And a
you know, that's
242.
a 220 and a 242. You know, there
Yep.
may be someone in between Dante's sides and a 200 that likes to
Right.
do the 220, and it's more feasible for them. Same
Yep.
with a 242, you know, and it's so maybe it just boils down not to, I mean, going back to it, but maybe it just boils down to someone fits better in a class,
Right.
women, you know, too as well. So
That's a
yeah,
good point. The weight classes are different. So look at that when you're looking at the two federations. And maybe, like Josh is saying, maybe you fit better in one of the classes. That's
Yeah.
I would actually say that that's probably like if there was one thing that you could differentiate between the two, that's probably the primary thing is the weight
Yeah.
classes.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I literally think there if you there was no signage and no membership or anything for a day, and
Yeah.
you sent us to a show, and you didn't tell us if it was USS or Strongman Corp, just in North Dakota, and then the next day we go to a show in freaking, you know, Tennessee, and you don't tell us if it's, we don't know anyone is what I'm saying, different states, and we had to guess, we would have no idea if it was Strongman Corp or USS. It's the promoter.
Right.
If you're looking at a quality of show, it might be unsanctioned. It may be Strongman Corp. It may be USS. It may be something else. It may be
Right.
the person running it is what makes the difference. And
Yep.
I think that's so true.
Agreed.
Pork said something stupid about only deadlifting on a stiff bar. Do you guys think this is a good question? This pro cards, are they outdated or should each class have one?
If you're going to have them, each class should have one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that
Yeah.
big of a deal, though. I really don't.
I don't either. I don't either. Like, I don't care at all.
Yeah.
There's nothing that bothers me less than when I'm not a pro. Like, because it's such a silly hobby, and I know I would get nothing out of being a pro.
You
But
can change your IG tag.
yeah, that's about it. But I mean, are they outdated? I don't know if I would say.
I don't think that's fair
I don't
to
know if
say.
that's the right. Okay, I think I know where this person may be going, and I'm just completely assuming. I don't know if outdated is correct. I think the system has holes. Like,
Sure.
we use you think you have the example all the time. Evan Singleton's not a pro strongman.
Yeah.
Nick Hines not a pro strongman.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like
But that's according to the card system. Like,
exactly. But that's
the
why
level is the level. Like you're
Right.
competing at X level, then you're at that level. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we can label it like, and the one thing I always do agree with is that I do think it is a good goal to work for if that is a goal. It's good. It's a good thing to want to be in the top 3 at a national competition. That's a good goal to have for anybody. But like, if you're competing at the level, it doesn't matter whether you have a star next to your name or no star next to your name. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It also opens up doors to certain shows, like
Yeah.
ASM.
Yeah.
But it also closes 99% more doors.
Because
You
now
can't-
you can't do
you
your
can't
local
do it.
shows.
It's true as
Yeah.
well.
And that's a
But
problem.
no, I know exactly what you're saying, Dante. I wouldn't say it's outdated. I would say it's just it has holes.
Like, let's say if I got my 105 kg pro card at the Arnold, I'd probably just, if I want to do a local show, I'd have to go open or 265
or USS.
Yeah,
or USS. I'm just saying if
And
I was
that-
doing like Strongman Corp route.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. You know, and this next question, I don't know if the person's trolling or being serious, but it's actually a good question. What are your thoughts on like fitness TikTok, fitness Instagram reels, like kind of like the new wave of like fitness social media? I think it's a good question because me and this person were just talking about it last night at the gym, the person asked, and it's I think there's a lot of good, honestly, from like TikTok and stuff because it gets for like fitness TikTok is crazy. And like I have some of these kids that I coach that are 14 years old and they know who Ronnie Coleman is.
Right.
Like because it's just like a funny trend on TikTok.
Yep.
I think go ahead, Nick.
That I've personally kind of found it satisfying, as in like I'll watch some mobility stuff that I wouldn't normally get exposed to.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so it's kind of giving me a deeper understanding of that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like with anything, man. It's like books. There's bad books out there, but there's really awesome books that you can learn from.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. I think with and I'm saying if he's saying thoughts on TikTok, fitness TikTok, I think of a younger kid.
Yep.
And I think what gets it is like the toxicity of it, where it's like, oh, sumo is this and sumo's that. And like dude, sumo is hard as shit for a lot of people. And it's if you were better at pulling sumo, you would pull sumo too. And I think it's like that type of stuff. And the only thing I don't like is that it encourages kids to. I was talking to a guy at our gym that's a football coach, and he helps this team with strength training, Jim Mooney.
Yep.
And he was saying, do you have a problem with your kids wanting to max out a lot, recently? And I said, yeah.
I think that's normal for the age.
And I know it's normal. And I think even more so recently, it has just become so popularized because you see these like no lifter post their bad day. I shouldn't say no lifter, but almost no one posts their bad day. And not as many people post their boring 70% 3x8.
Yep. Right.
So they don't see that super jacked or super strong guy or girl, what they did to get that strong. And I think, I know I've seen a trend in it with my kids is they want to max so much more.
Yeah.
And
I don't necessarily know that that's because of social media though. Like, because I can think of when I started lifting, like for the first time, I wanted to max all the time too, but it's because I thought it was actually making me stronger.
Yeah, same.
And then I actually started to understand the process a good bit, and I realized it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't, and we know that. But I mean, it is possible for like a recency thing, like you're saying, where kids see it and they're like, "Oh, well, he hit a whatever triple." Well, yeah, but that really heavy triple that you just saw that guy hit, that's only 80% for him.
Right. Yeah. And part of it is just we're getting old and getting grumpier.
So I think the best way I can put it is having a platform to easily. This is my take on it. The good thing is having a platform to easily spread information. The bad thing is having a platform to easily spread information.
Yeah.
Because there's literally like it can be used for really good things, and you can learn a lot of good information. Like people from Elite FTS, Westside Barbell, Trigger Warning Conjugate. Plug it in. There's plenty of good people out there with good information, but there's just as many misinformation and just as much bad information that misleads people the wrong way.
Yep. It all goes down to what you consume, and you have to be intelligent enough and be able to siphon through the bullshit, and that's just how it is. You got to be able to say, okay, this person, it's kind of seems, bad and not, I shouldn't be consuming this. It's like I said at the beginning, it's like that with anything, books, movies, anything. And it kind of goes into the last thing I want to talk about, and it's with novice lifters, and it's novice lifters in powerlifting, strongman, I'm sure CrossFit, everything across the board. And I think it's important for them to set small and obtainable goals.
Yep.
And I think where a lot of people get lost is they come into the gym and they compare themselves, say at 580, someone just steps in the gym, they've been there for a month, and they compare themselves to Frawley. I want to be Frawley. I want to deadlift 765. I want to squat 725. I want to do this or this. Dante was benching 405. I want to do this. You are setting yourself up for failure
Right.
because if everything goes perfect for the next 10 years, then you'll be as strong as Frawley. You're 18. Frawley's been doing it for 10, 12 years, whatever. And now he is where he is. I was talking to someone last night and they're talking to me about strongman training. And we're having a one-on-one, heart-to-heart. This person wants to take strongman serious, and that's awesome. You guys know we want as many people to get into strongman as possible, especially around us. It helps us, helps the gym. We get to help more people. We get more training partners, get a bigger gym. But so I said, what are your goals? No, I don't know. I want to go to World's Strongest Man. Well, no, and I said to this, that's a horrible goal. I'm not trying to shit on you. I'm not trying to discourage you. I want you to be in this sport for the next 50 years.
Right.
That's a horrible goal. That's a horrible goal. Even if you play everything perfect, you may never make World's Strongest Man.
Dude, if you play everything perfect, you might never win a local show.
Right.
So,
right. So I said, set your goal to hit a PR. Set a small 10-pound PR, not a 100-pound PR, 10-pound PR. Well,
Right.
I want to do a show. Then make your first goal to podium at a novice show, a novice local show. Make that your first big goal. Set 5 goals. Write your goals out and then cross them off as you go, and then set a bigger goal. And really, if you do that and you set these goals, they're going to compound over time, and you're going to be, it's cool as hell to look back at.
Yep.
Like, remember when I wanted to hit a 180 log,
Yeah.
and now I'm hitting it for 10s. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
So it's just, you get reminded quickly when you have more novice conversations like that of people's line of thinking, because to me now, candidly, it's stupid. It sounds stupid. It is stupid. It's never not going to be stupid. But I said stupid stuff like that too.
Yes.
Like,
Yep.
So it's part of me being more experienced now, me going through injuries, me going through life, and me just knowing the thing that sucks about strength training is the longer you're in it, the harder it gets.
Yeah, 100% true.
You fight for 18 months for a 5-pound PR.
And I was just going to say, if there's anything that I can say with almost 100% accuracy, however long you think it's going to take for you to do something in strength sports, it's almost always longer.
Yep.
Almost like you might think, oh, okay, well, I'll deadlift 500 pounds by the time I'm X years old. You can almost bet it's going to be longer.
Yep.
It's like you can say, okay, in 6 months, I hit this in this 6 months, and then in 6 more months, I'll get it's not like that. It's going to take longer and longer and longer.
Well, it's not a linear perfect world, right?
Right.
So like I remember, I got to train my ass off in college when I got into powerlifting. I trained powerlifting for 3-4 years, whatever it was, consistently, 4 days a week. Dude, it'll never be better than college training. We're pretty damn close now. My life's awesome. We have a gym now, but college training, you don't have any other responsibilities.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're just going to the gym
Go to
doing
class
school.
and train.
Yeah. And I remember, it's like I just hit a 550 deadlift, whatever. Dude, I should hit 600 by next year. But you come out of school and you get a job and you got to travel and you got to learn how to be an adult. And I know people are like, oh, boo hoo, whatever. But I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a life event.
Yes.
And you're going to have life events your whole life. And it's not linear. It's not perfect. You're going to get married. You're going to have a kid. Someone's going to die. Shit's going to happen. As shitty as it sounds, life happens. So, Frawley, that's an amazing point. I think that's why it always takes a little bit longer than you think because you look at it linear and it ain't linear.
And not,
Nothing is.
no,
But
man.
but you know what though? You know what? As many bad days as you'll have training and as many pissed off, missed PRs and you'll overshoot an RP, you're still gonna have that day every once in a while where you walk in and there's a fire under your ass and you hit a big rep PR or you pull a big single PR and those days make it all worth it.
Yep.
Where something comes out of nowhere and it's like, I'm still the man. I can still do this. You know what I
You
mean?
will also get to the point too where those days become far more frequent than your bad days.
Yeah.
Because you'll understand how the process works better. You will understand, okay, I need to do this to get to that good day. And now you're not doing the things that make you miss constantly. So you have better momentum moving forward, and those good days are happening more frequently. And that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know if I would even be pulling in the sixes anymore if I had to have training partners now. Like I think the older you get, the more important training partners get. And I see people training in a garage now, and I'm like, dude, power to them because people that are like in Western PA and going in a garage and getting fired up, at 7 a.m. to squat 500 for reps. Like, dude, that's people like that impress the hell out of me too.
Sure.
Yeah.
But no, I just had that conversation. I wanted to close out the pod with that because if you're a newer lifter or you've been frustrated, just remember that. Like, it feels like sandbagging, but set attainable goals.
Yep.
Because it's gonna feel so much better when you knock them off.
Yep.
You guys have anything else for this week? I think that was really good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Well, that's great. Thanks
Nick,
for having
What do
me.
you,
Nick,
Nick,
you
let's
gonna join
get a
us next
final
week?
word, dude. Come on.
Nick,
What-
you coming on next week?
Next week, speaking of, I'll be in Aruba.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be in Aruba. You're
Wow,
gonna
saying ever, dude.
you have to listen to the pod while you're in Aruba so we get those download metrics that we're listing out of
Oh
country.
yeah,
Thank you.
great.
Get us that Aruba download.
Hey, ship 580 horsepower to Aruba, will you?
Why don't you just bring, why don't you just bring it down?
Just bring it with you. But you got anything to close us out with, Nick?
No, again, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. And we'll see you guys next week.
See you, boys.
All right, see you guys. Bye, horsepower.
Later.
Bye.
Hold
See
on,
you guys.
hold on. Where's my mouse?